is all about stable bandages. So stable bandages are really useful for improving your horse's circulation, so like if they get filled legs. They're really good for drying off legs if they get really wet, like if you wash them or you've been out hunting and have to wash mud off. And they're also really good for supporting your horse's legs. But if you're going to use them for support, make sure you bandage the other one too, because that's going to end up taking a lot of weight off the leg you're trying to support. So for your stable bandage, you're going to need some gamgee, preferably a square, so it's big enough to go all the way around your horse's leg, and a stable bandage. So you can tell that it's a stable bandage because it's fleecy and it's not too stretchy. If it's elasticy, that's not what you want to use because it's going to over tighten and that could restrict circulation in your horse's leg. So with your stable bandage, the first thing you want to do is put the gamgee on. It's going to go around your horse's leg, and you want to tuck the bottom bit towards the front and then wrap it round over the top, so that all the tension is going to go around the front of your horse's legs where the bones are, not at the back where the tendons are. And you want to make sure it's as flat as possible and that it goes down far enough that so you don't have to move it when you start bandaging. So when you bandage, you want to unroll your bandage towards their tail, again so that all the pressure goes around the front and the bone on the tendons. And you want to start just below the knee, go round once at the top, go over that bit of bandage, and then you get a little flap, put it over, and that just secures the bandage. It's less likely to slip down. And then you want to come down about half a bandage at a time, keeping an even tension so that the pressure's even over the whole of the bandage. And then when you get to the bottom, go round underneath the fetlock just to support that. And then as you come up, there'll be a little bit of a V where you change direction. And then coming back up, you want to kind of judge how much bandage you've got. And you can either come up half a bandage at a time, or slightly more or slightly less, depending on how much you've got left, because ideally you want to finish the bandage at the top because it just looks really neat, just like that. So once your bandage is on, to make sure that it's the right tension in the right place, what you can do is check where it is. So you want to make sure it's below the knee, so you don't bandage her knee so they can still move their leg. And then at the bottom, it doesn't need to be this long, but if you're traveling, you want it to cover the coronet bands so they can't stand on themselves. For the tension, you want to be able to fit one finger inside the bandage. If you can't do that, it's too tight, take it off and try to get a bit looser. And if you can fit more than one finger, it's a bit loose and it might slip down. So when you take your bandage off, you don't need to roll it as you go because it's a bit of a faff, they could move their leg. So you want to try and get it off as fast as possible. So you literally go down quick as you can and then off. And if you've had it on for quite a long time, you might want to give their legs a bit of a rub to get the circulation going again. So rolling your bandage up. How you roll it up is really important because it means that when you bandage your horse, you'll finish in the right place, and it also helps you get the right tension. So if you've got a bit of Velcro, you want to attach the Velcro to the other side and then just keep rolling from there. And that way it will unroll in the right place. And you want to try and roll your bandage up as tight as possible, because if it's all squishy and floppy, it's much harder to get a good tension in your bandage and it will probably end up being too loose. So I find rolling up like this helps me get a good tension, but there are lots of other methods. And ideally you want to try and keep your bandage off the floor when you're rolling it up, otherwise it will pick up all the bits of dust and hay, and that won't be very nice. So when you're doing a back leg, the bandaging technique is exactly the same as the front leg, but ideally you want to tie the tail up out the way. So you just do that by flipping it over and just tying a knot in it, because that just means that when you put your bandage on, your tail's not going to get caught up in the bandage. So now your tail's out the way, it's time to do your back leg bandage. And exactly the same thing. So get your gamgee, wrap it around the leg. So their back legs can be a little bit longer than their front legs, so you might find you need slightly longer gamgee, but again you want to make sure it's below the hock joint. Come round the front, get your little tab down, and leave a little bit of gap at the top. You don't want to bandage the top, because if you bandage over that, that can be a bit of a pressure point. And then you just come down exactly the same, half a bandage at a time, round the bottom, and then come up. And now because her back legs are a little bit longer than her front, I'm going to have to come up a little bit quicker so that I can get to the top. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure that you subscribe and follow us on Instagram and Facebook, and make sure that if you've been practicing your stable bandages, we'd love to see any pictures or videos that you do. If you've got any other ideas of videos that you'd like to see us do, please put them in the comments or send us a message and we'll add them to our list of videos. Bye!